I wonder what's in that.
The packages show up at Charlie and Dot's house
More and more boxes.
with such regularity.
Curious about this one. I don't know what it'll be.
Every day is like Christmas.
Ta-da!
And they open them like they were kids.
Just.
Inside,
Armstrong, student flute.
musical instruments,
And I bid vigorously on that.
mostly clarinets. That's because Charlie plays and collects them. To most, ordering something and finding a flaw would be a
Gentle with that baby, but
sour note. But not to Charlie.
hopefully they do not show signs of uh-oh.
That's because he knows a guy.
New cork on this tenon. But that's a 15-minute job.
Or in this case, a gal.
So the next step is we'd probably take this up and leave it in the hallway up there. And then I'd take a piece of tape and I'd write on it cork tenons.
Dot takes one instrument at a time and fixes them. Something she's only been doing for a few years now,
Ooh.
after she went back to school at the age of
75 plus or minus.
to get trained in band instrument repair.
One of the first things you had to do was buy about $2,000 worth of tools.
Now, some of the fixes are easy, while others are not. But most end up good as new.
So this goes on the stairs, and then once a week the cleaning girls come and they take them up the stairs.
An attic of instruments. While just 2 miles away at East High, teachers struggle to put an instrument in the hands of every student who wants one.
We can only do so much with the funds we're given from the district.
Allison Schmidt points to Mary Lynn Medina's experience.
She was in the marching band, and she was coming up and auditioning and going to citywide.
See, I had to play high notes, and I had to hit this like one key over here.
We saw her clarinet and said, oh gosh, Mary Lynn, it's literally falling apart when you march.
And then I hit it, and it just said fall on the floor. And I was like, okay. And Mr. Weber could not fix it. He was just
Mary
like,
Lynn made light of it,
But I made that clarinet to a lamp, so it's all good.
but Ellison knew something needed to be done.
Because really, music just makes me happy. It just fills my heart.
So,
We talked to Charlie and Dot about it, and Charlie says, I have just the thing.
you can now catch Mary Lynn on stage and on point.
I got like a new opportunity like to show my best and all that stuff, show like what I'm like I can do.
And it's not just Mary Lynn. Many of the instruments you see here came from the same place.
It's truly helped us to increase access for our students across the district. We couldn't do what we do without Charlie and Dot.
Who can often be seen at these concerts, by the way, sitting side by side.
But it has morphed into something we do together because he wanted to bench up in the instrument room so he could work on them. And he does a pretty good job at triaging clarinets. He's yet to take one apart and put it together.
Completely apart.
Completely apart.
I mean, I take various sections apart and I usually get them back.
And he gets into trouble for that. And but it's been something that we've both enjoyed.
Yeah, that's true.
I joked earlier that every day here is like Christmas. What if it is? Maybe this is the North Pole. How else can you explain their output? Over the last 3 years, these two have given away around 800 instruments. Now, if you told me they were Mr. and Mrs. Claus, I might just believe you.
Let's see what else we've got here.
I mean, come on. They even have a workshop.
That it wasn't?
First call came in for reporting a house fire at just before 12:39.
Smoke was streaming out of the second-floor bedroom.
At the time, there was one adult and 4 children home.
Darius Dillard and Nate Williams saw it from across the street. They bounded over and without hesitation kicked in the door and leapt inside to find a family confused by the orders now being given.
They were trying to get stuff out of the house, and I was like, no, we don't have no time to get anything out of the house. You just got to get out of the house and go, because I don't want none of y'all to get hurt, burnt, nothing. We threw the water where the fire was, but the smoke had came to our lungs, so we had got out as soon as possible.
I was relieved. Like, That's the first thing that came to my mind, was like relieved, because like the family, they made it out safely. I made it out safely. My cousin, like everybody just made it out of there safely. That's all that really mattered, honestly.
I wouldn't want my family to be in that same situation, and I feel like I should help other people.
Bravery that matched the kind inside the big red truck that rolled up a few minutes later.
Well, I think it was awesome that they sprung into motion and tried to make sure if there was anybody inside that they got out, they were aware, they did something about it.
But a firefighter wouldn't be a firefighter without a word of warning here.
Of course, we don't suggest that you try to put your fire out.
Who knows? Maybe one day Darius and Nate will pull up in that big red truck.
You're watching News 8.
In cases of violent crime, pain does not end in the courtroom, but our reporting often does. Not tonight. One shot, one life. A tragic but seemingly simple equation that played out outside this convenience store on Lake Ave in the summer of 2015. A 14-year-old with a gun and two friends tried to rob Jit Mangar of his car. They stole so much more.
For 3 days, she lost her mind. She was out of control for 3 days.
Mangar's wife received the call while in her home in northwest Rochester. It came from a fellow Nepali refugee, the one who found Jit's body in the parking lot.
Then my sisters and relatives, they consulted me to control myself and to look at my 4 children.
Seven children, some not even school-aged when it happened, all to this day living at home.
I doesn't have any source of incomes. I doesn't have car in my family. No one is working. I have small children and I have one son who is going to college. And I am also asking him to not to go college because we have to pay college fee and I'm not being able to afford his college tuition fee, and I have to ask him to not to go college.
Meanwhile, the whole family goes to their church on Clifford Avenue. There, the tight-knit Nepali and Bhutanese community pray for peace. The murder followed a string of violent incidents that appeared to target them.
In refugee camp, we literally had no home. It was very hard for us to survive, but after coming to this place, we at least have something, right? But the biggest thing is fear, is what our people are experiencing in these days. Fear and insecurity. So many people doesn't feel secure to go out on the street.
Over on St. Paul Street, Jawan Garung connects refugees with resources offered through the Department of Human Services, resources Jit's family desperately needed.
Jit, he's father of the family, or the head of the family, and he's now no more there. And then the family who were dependent on him, now they have no one to be dependent, or there is no one who is financially able to help them. So they are now, I think, they have no any options beside applying for the food stamps from DHS.
We'll step over now to the courthouse. Julie Hahn prosecuted the 3 teenagers. All of them pleaded guilty to murder and are entering adulthood in prison.
You know, it's really so unfortunate because all the way around, you know, these young men, they made a very, very, very bad choice, and it resulted in the loss of life that had a profound impact on many, many, many people. And the ripple effect, it just keeps going, and now their families are affected. You know, their brothers and sisters, their parents, their extended family, you know, they're going to prison for a crime, and it's destructive. There's just no good part about it.
The ripple effect takes us finally to Brockport, to the recycling plant where Jit worked with fellow Nepali and Bhutanese refugees. The folks here raised $20,000 for Jit's family, a reflection of who Jit was.
Jit was so nice guy, He's being nice with everyone, his family and his friend. He's saying that none of the days he has seen him, he's sad and mad at anyone.
Don Mongar worked here beside his brother, and he's had trouble talking about the loss. And still does.
Gee, you don't want to speak about that. It is gone. It is gone now. If he speak, if he tell something, he'll not come back. That's why he had no words to say.
One shot, one life. Or should we say 2 lives? Or 9, or 40, or 100, or 1,000. That one bullet killed Jit, yes, but its shockwave shot out far and wide, spreading rot and ruin until its work was done.
We have a large refugee community here in Rochester, and several organizations have been created to help them. We have links to those groups if you're interested. They're going to be on the web story at rochesterfirst.com. Thanks for watching that.